Thanks for watching the video. Our topic today is test-driven development. Firstly, I'll give you a brief introduction about test-driven development. Then I will give you an example on how to follow the test-driven development methodologies, why we should follow this method, and what are the limitations of this approach. First of all, what is test-driven development? Basically, it is all about writing test cases before writing the production code, and because we don't have the production code in hand at the beginning, all the test cases will fail. We have to keep refactoring, refining, and implement the real logic into our production code to make all the test cases pass. What is showing is a typical workflow of test-driven development. Initially, you have to add test cases. As you run the test cases, if they are failed, we have to make changes according to user requirement, and we rerun those test cases until all of them pass, and then the whole process continue from the beginning. Now I'm going to give you one simple example to demonstrate how the process of test-driven development is applied in the real production environment. Suppose we want to write a method to sum up two or more integer numbers. I'm going to use Java and Eclipse as my development environment for this example. Firstly, you need to create a test case for that requirement. As you can see, at the moment we don't have the class, my class, hence the Eclipse IDE is showing error on the code. Next, we need to create the corresponding class, my class. After that, we can run the unit test, and as you can see, the test has passed even though we haven't implemented any logic into the test case. Now suppose we want to check these two requirements in the test case. The first one is to sum up the two numbers 2 and 3, the expected result should be 5. The second example is to sum up 1, 2 and 6, and the expected result should be number 9. Again, we have to create a mockup method for that, and at the moment we only return 0 for all the cases. The test case is still giving error because we haven't actually implemented any logic into the real production code. Now, as you can see, I have put some basic logic into the sum up method, and the test case now has passed successfully. Next, we have to check if the method SumUp can check overflow in Java or not. And because we haven't implemented this logic, the second test case has failed. To prevent that, I have put a condition into the SumUp method and now all the test cases have successfully passed. Next, why we should follow test-driven development. Firstly, it gives you a higher level of confidence. Every time you want to write a logic for your system, the first thing you have to do is to create a corresponding test case for that logic. Hence, we make sure that all the production code are tested thoroughly. Next, your system will be more testable, because when you create the test cases, you are actually trying to break the logic of the whole system into smaller units, which you can apply unit testing. Moreover, test-driven development can help you create better system design. The reason for this is that when you try to create smaller test cases, you are actually trying to make a full map of your system, how all the functions should work in conjunction with each other. And when you break the system into smaller units, it will become more manageable. That's why you can be more productive and there will be less defects in your production code. However, test-driven development have a few limitations that you have to be aware of. Firstly, it's not always possible to write test cases. Some test cases require a full system to be developed in order to be carried out. Secondly, there might be a big overhead for maintaining test cases. Thirdly, over-testing can happen. We should carry out only the test cases that are required from the user requirement.